Okay, I really gotta take down these meteoroids. You would think that them simply having one more rush they can do before they crash wouldn't be so bad, but nope, not for me. I'm having so much more trouble dealing with them. Thankfully, I seem to be cutting down their numbers this time. 3 more to go. And it is nice that you can interrupt their attacks if you strike them. The issue is that you're not always in the position to do so, say, if they're in the middle of a wall. That's a bit of a bad design right there. Oh, and we got worms to deal with. Oh yeah, see, this is where the ground pound really ends up coming in handy. Unless I fail to do the input. What? I pressed down and it didn't do anything. I guess I really should be using the D-pad for this game, rather than the analog stick, but I'm too used to using the analog stick right now, so that's probably not going to happen. I wonder if I can unlock that shortcut before turning on the power. Probably not, but if I could do that, that would be ideal, since I doubt I'm going to survive whatever gauntlet it unleashes the first time around, simply because of, I don't have any health elixirs, and my health isn't even at its max. Okay, hello, Panzer. This is a new enemy type. I'm not entirely sure what they are, I guess more security systems. Just gonna spam my downward attack. That keeps me off of the ground and thus out of the reach of the Araneas for the most part. Now, these guys don't seem too dangerous. They're basically like a more tanky, larger version of the meteoroids, given that they have a single charge attack. The main difference being that it's presumably a lot stronger. I don't think I've been hit by it yet. But honestly, the fact that they attack much less frequently makes them way less dangerous. The meteoroids' danger lies in their sheer numbers and their sheer speed, which makes them difficult to avoid. Okay, I can unlock the shortcut. Thank God. That would have been nightmarish if I couldn't have. Now, if this door could open up so I could actually access these enemies, that would be great. Okay, hi there. I'm just gonna run past you because I don't think I have the full shortcut unlocked, I'm not sure. And I want to make sure I do so I can head back more quickly. Okay, yeah, I think I'm fine this time. I unlocked both sides. Now let's see if I can survive this encounter. Probably not, but you never know. Seriously, this is a bit much, Gabe. Look at all this shit. Look at all this shit. How am I supposed to deal with all this shit? I'm not, clearly. Well, hey, this tip was actually timed nice this time, considering that I just unlocked a shortcut. I got a little bit snippy at it previously because, like, it popped up when it wasn't really relevant. Is it just me, or are the load times quicker than they used to be? I could have sworn they were longer. Maybe that's just me. Okay, let's get that crit chance. See how effective that ends up being. The question is, which bonus do I go for next? I'm thinking shield downtime because it's currently 4 seconds, and reducing that to 3 seconds would help a lot, I think. Because it's my inability to have my shield restored that's just troubling me so much. Looks like I'll also pick up a little bit of health and armor on the way. And extra tankiness is nothing to sneeze at. Alright, let's see if I can actually get to that second power room and activate it before hell is unleashed. Alright, didn't take too long to get back here, thankfully, and hey! Money! I could certainly use you. Ooh, and an extra health flask. I'm assuming those stick around, so if I end up getting quite damaged by whatever gauntlet I end up facing, I can come back here for a little bit of a pick-me-up. So that's nice. You know, something I've noticed about the enemy spawning thus far, it always seems to start off relatively tame, and then ends up like really ratcheting up after I've explored a few rooms. I wonder if that's actually how this works. That just things get slowly more difficult over time. Yeah, I'm just gonna use that right now. I want to go into this power room with full health if at all possible. That'll give me the greatest chance of survival. But yeah, it seems like the horde difficulty ramps up for a little bit, and then if you manage to survive that, then it ends up actually dying down. I should probably take care of these laser boys first. They're being a little bit of trouble when I'm trying to navigate my way through narrow passageways. Okay. I didn't notice that before. These new upgraded hunters seem to have a repelling shield that they activate. I assume it comes up after you attack them enough. Ah, it's right when they glow, so it's an active attack they have in their guarding stance. So unlike the previous iteration, they're not completely useless once you have them in that stance. That's good to know. Yeah, I'll be honest, so far the Panzer enemies seem to be one of the least dangerous types introduced thus far. That elite one last time was nasty because of how aggressive it was. But the regular ones honestly don't seem that bad. Okay. Of course I start getting more enemy spawns right as my shield breaks. Thank you for doing that, game. Do you hate me? Did I do something bad to you and you're trying to get some sort of retribution? Is that what this is about? Maybe I just shouldn't be going for that treasure. I made a few attempts to actually get at it, and I can't seem to, even though I got an identical one to it earlier with no issues. Maybe the game is telling me that sometimes being greedy isn't such a good thing. Hey, that would go along with that lore tidbit I got, talking about the greed of man and whatnot. Yep, this seems to be when things start ratcheting up. So if I can survive this, I think I'll end up having a little bit of a break. And that will be really nice, because I could use a break. It seems to be a pretty good funneling spot. I have enough room to actually avoid the lasers reliably. And I can end up funneling the Araneas from both directions. Okay, maybe it's not such a good spot. I'm dead. Okay, can I actually manage to get to the battery room this time? We'll see. Maybe if I rush there quickly enough, I won't end up having those multiple hordes after me, and I'll actually be able to do this. Speed could certainly be effective. It's certainly worth testing out. I'm pretty sure that if I get far enough away from the hunters, they can't actually strike me. They just have a really long distance from which they can attack. My worry is that this one will still be able to attack me when I'm in the battery room, which is why I am assaulting him right now. I really don't want that extra bit of trouble that I can't really deal with when I'm fighting whatever hordes are in there. Okay, I actually made it here this time, but not before another horde spawned. And great, more hunters that are off-screen. It looks like the upper one I'll be able to take out, but the lower one I'd probably have to backtrack. Which is really annoying. Yep, he's still going after me. Okay. Where the hell is it? Wait a minute. I think that hunter is in a room I don't even have access to from here. I'm an idiot. Okay. So, that issue I mentioned of enemies spawning in other rooms and that you can't actually access them without doing a lot of backtracking, that is still an issue, it's just this case here isn't an example. I didn't notice him camouflaged among the thorns as he was. Purple camouflages really well with green, don't you know? There's a boss icon right here. Hello, Mr. Don't think I don't see you there. What are you trying to pull there, buddy? Arlie Waylon, Fallen Valkyrie Panzer. Alright, it's invisible. That's not something I'm super thrilled about. I'm assuming it'll eventually start to go after me after I attack it enough. Oh, but of course he has friends. Why wouldn't he? I wonder if I could end up leading him back to my home base, where hordes presumably wouldn't spawn. I've seen them follow me there, but I'd imagine they wouldn't spawn there. That would be ridiculous. I don't know if he's actually following me, though. Like, I can't really get much better access to him than this room right here, so I'm just gonna keep attacking until, yep, there we go. So I guess this is a somewhat optional boss fight, but it's a boss fight, so of course I'm gonna do it. Oh my lord, that is a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Oh, there you are, buddy. Come down. Actually, no, don't come down here just yet. I want to deal with these jerks first. Is this a light version of the Panzer? Okay, no, it's just a regular Panzer. I'm not familiar enough with the enemy type to be able to tell that right from the get-go. I should use this encounter with this regular Panzer as practice against Waylon here. Because it's my unfamiliarity with that attack pattern that got me screwed over so badly. Yeah, let's try and find a more opportune spot to fight them. This is a big open room. There's some traps here, but that shouldn't be too bad to deal with, I think. Then again, these floor traps activate as soon as I step on them, so maybe that's not such a good idea. And of course, fighting while dealing with hunters is even less of a good idea. Let's take out them first. Alright, not too much trouble. Let me try retreating back to the room where I died last time. That was one of the ones down here, wasn't it? I think it was this section. This actually seems to be a decent place to fight. This could serve as an okay choke point for enemies. Okay, I don't like that he started attacking immediately. I didn't even have a chance to dodge. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to attack all that often, so as long as I dodge frequently, I think I'll be okay. At least until it starts going berserk and throwing in new measures to deal with. Yeah, okay, this is definitely doable thus far. And then it goes away, giving me time to fight these enemies. Oh, it is such a considerate boss. Never mind. It's not as considerate as I thought. So it's not doing enough damage that makes it go away, it just does so after a time. So if I'm dealing with other enemies, I can just act evasive until it goes away, and then start focusing on them. Which is not exactly going to be the easiest thing, considering that they keep spawning in, and yeah. I think a real big element of whether or not I actually enjoy this enough to stick with it for much longer is whether or not I end up getting more combat capabilities. Thus far, the only real upgrade I picked up has been the double jump. And while that is certainly useful in combat, it's not really a combat ability per se. It's not a new attack or a new weapon or anything like that. And that results in the combat being honestly a little bit dull. It's very button mashy so far, which isn't a bad thing in its own right. But I think when you're making a button mashy combat system, you do have to give the player a lot of varied techniques that they can do, even if they just end up doing them by button mashing. That way things stay relatively fresh and the players have new options to go with. But as it is here, I only end up having my 5-hit combo, my few aerial moves, and the ground pound, and that's basically it. Alright, where's Boss Boy this time? There you are. Don't think I don't see you. Your camouflage isn't nearly as foolproof as you seem to think it is. Okay, don't jump in the air when fighting this dude. Not always an option, since sometimes I have to jump into the air to avoid other enemies' attacks, but yeah. Because I don't have any sort of air dodge, I can't avoid his cross slash. And that's really bad because it does an insane amount of damage. I I wonder if there's a way to avoid having the enemies spawn here. Probably not, but if I could somehow manage that, I would have so much of an easier time right here. Because it's the extra chaos of the other enemies spawning in that really makes this difficult. If it's just Waylon here, it's really not going to be an issue. Alright, well, no enemy spawns thus far. Please don't tell me I just jinxed it. And Waylon is almost dead. So that actually makes me think that enemy hordes are triggered by reaching certain places on the map. That's why I'm not getting any more here, because I'm staying in the exact same space. And thus I can't possibly trigger any new horde spawns. That could be why I've had so much trouble with the, fuck? Not with the fuck. With the horde system, is that oftentimes when I'm fighting one horde, I'll end up traveling a fair distance, possibly even through several rooms, in an attempt to get better positioning. And thus by traveling that distance, I end up triggering way more enemy spawns, which ends up resulting in that trouble I end up having. So yeah, I guess basically just staying in one single solitary place, not even moving around the room that I'm in too much, is the way of handling these horde mechanics. Because yeah, look at this, I'm getting more enemy spawns, but they're actually pretty reasonable to deal with. At least thus far. Okay, maybe I'm incorrect now that I'm getting hunters spawning off screen as well. At least I took out the boss. I don't think I'm going to be able to take out too much more here though. Yeah, those cannon boys, the hunters, are a consistent difficulty for me, that's for sure. Well, dying in this game isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a quick warp back to the start, which means I can do upgrades. And I do want to check out that new perk I picked up. I think it was called Shot Blade, so I'd imagine it would be some sort of damage dealer. Let's find out. Yep, increases melee damage by 20%, but it reduces my health by 20%. I think that's a very worthy trade-off. I have a bit less tankiness, but that's honestly not too big of a deal since the overall amount of health I have is actually more limited by my health elixirs and how much they heal, more than my total health capacity. So at least in my current situation, that extra damage is kind of free in a way. At the very least, the cost is very minor. Alright, more armor, and yep, there's that quicker shield regeneration. We'll see if that gives me any more survivability. As for what I'm going to work my way towards next, getting that extra perk slot will definitely be useful in the future once I start picking up more useful perks. But it's not too useful at the moment, and I think I'd rather go with something that is more immediately useful. So picking up this would give me 58 extra health. That would pretty much offset the penalty from the perk entirely. Of course, it is a ways away. You know what? I think I'm going to want better healing elixirs. That's going to give me the greatest amount of survivability. So that's what I'll be working my way towards. Well, with Arlie Waylon defeated, I might as well make more progress in this direction. I wasn't having too much trouble with that, you know, despite my multiple deaths. And there are a few pathways down this way that I've yet to explore. One leading down and one leading off to the right. And given that I've already beaten a boss at least, I'm curious what else could lie this way. Ah, perhaps this was simply another method of reaching this place. Because it looks like this is the other side of a shortcut. Maybe it's a new path though, it's hard to tell. Oh no, this troublesome situation. I'm so tempted by the currency, but It's so difficult to reach. I do wonder, considering the fact that these things are called corrupted treasure, I wonder if there's any actual risk-reward mechanics involved with them. By opening them, do I increase the likelihood of encountering nasty situations? Does that, say, increase the chance that more hordes will spawn or make them tougher? Thus far, they've not seemed to have had any effect. At least not an immediate one, which is why I keep going for them. But it is possible that they do have some sort of deleterious effect, in which case they might be best avoided, even though they do give a lot of currency. Like a lot of things in this game, I probably will never know for sure unless the loading screen tells me. It's kind of the issue with having obscured mechanics in your video game. If they're not actually directly stated to the player is never really going to know if they're there or not, at least not for sure. They can potentially make educated guesses, but unless they have direct confirmation, it's only going to be hearsay and confirmation bias. It's kind of funny, despite liking Dark Souls so much... Oh wow, this is a treasure hoard. Despite liking Dark Souls so much and Dark Souls being a big proponent of having things be obscured, I'm honestly not a fan of that in games. I like mechanical transparency, that way I know exactly what's gonna happen. And if I end up screwing up, it's either going to be on me or the game's bad design, rather than a lack of knowledge. I find that failure due to a lack of knowledge is the most annoying failure that there is. But that is just a personal preference, although one that a fair amount of other people seem to share. Given the fact that while I do enjoy that mechanical obscurity in Dark Souls, a lot of people don't. Really, a lot of the edge in Dark Souls specifically from that is lost by the fact that the community ends up finding out a lot of these particulars themselves through testing. So as long as you're willing to check out the wiki or whatever, it's not too big of a deal. With a game like this, though, which will maybe have a wiki with at most like a few dozen articles, mechanical obscurity is considerably more tricky to deal with. Okay. I'm probably gonna die here again. Because I'm really not sure how I'm gonna deal with all this shit. With 2 hunters and 2 panzers and a whole mess of boys after my hide. Alright, well that's 1 hunter dealt with. That makes my job significantly easier. 1 panzer is almost dead as well. If I can take care of him and his cohort, I should be able to deal with the boys and the hunter without too much difficulty. It's all a matter of whether I can manage my shield well enough. Holy crap, they were just infinitely spawning hordes of boys, aren't there? I mean, I like boys, but this is ridiculous. Oh god. Come on, I can survive this. I am a survivor. Actually, given my track record with this game, that is patently not true. I kind of wish the, you know, one thing that would make this whole horde encounter business a lot more manageable, 2 things actually. One would be if the enemies actually had friendly fire. Maybe not with all of their attacks, but for big things like the laser, I feel like that would be reasonable. Another thing would be, if not friendly fire, then at least the enemies being able to be hurt by these traps. Then you could actually plan your way around the environment and use these traps to your advantage, rather than them purely being an obstacle as they currently are. That would actually do to add a reasonable amount of mechanical complexity, which this game kind of sorely needs, given the fact that, again, you basically only have a few basic melee combos, and that's it. At least thus far. It looks like I'm gonna be about to pick up another major upgrade. Maybe it's that cannon that the tip screen so tantalizingly foretold? That's what I'm hoping. I could really use a ranged damage option of some sort. Or maybe it'll be something that allows me to interact with those weird kind of holes in the wall. I've seen them in a few places. On the map, they're in those rooms that have those locks, those yellow glowing locks. I'm assuming I can interact with them with some sort of upgrade, and that's what lets me unlock those. And that's how I'll be getting to that one boss that thus far has so eluded me. But yeah, regardless of what upgrade it is, it's gonna be worth going for, that's for sure. Permanent upgrades are always fantastic. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to deal with one more spot of trouble first. Maybe I should go... Okay, 3 of them. I can't leave that alone. I have to take them out. At least they're all grouped together. Wow, that was efficient. I took down nearly all 3 at once. That felt good. Oh great, another hunter. Yeah, it seems heading down here triggered another horde to spawn. Might have been a mistake on my part. Yeah, because now I have 2 hunters and a bunch of panzers. And an elite panzer. I am not a happy camper. I'm going to die. I wonder if I could manage to... I'm going the wrong way, so I'm definitely not going to manage it, but... Holy crap, they just keep spawning in, don't they? I thought I would have had some sort of reprieve by heading back where I came from, but I guess not. I was thinking of perhaps just trying to bum rush to the upgrade so I could at least pick that up before I died, but no luck. Oh, bring your Elder Shards to ability shrines to corrupt your powers. Fascinating. The question is, do I have to do that before I pick up an ability? Or can I do it at any point after picking up the ability? I would assume that because otherwise you have a very time-limited window to actually corrupt these powers. Well, I don't have a chance to do that just yet, not until I collect another third of a shard. What was I working my way towards? Healing proficiency, right. Nice, I got most of the way there.